So yesterday, here in the UK, we had the budget, and it was announced that the Chancellor said that Cadbury's will be delivering a giant chocolate bar to the Bank of England. Apparently, they're delivering a massive boost to the economy.
That would be funny if it wasn't so plausible.
I was going to say, I did read that from the BBC website. No, it was on BBC News. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a delayed Black Dog version 275. My name is Lee. He says, leaving the format entirely. Hi, I'm Lee.
Oh, I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
And my name is Elton.
Yes, as you can tell, there's something slightly a wonk already, and that's because I am very, very, very tired. But we're doing this because by Jingu, we're going to get one of these fucking horror seasons actually done and dusted before the end of October.
Amazing scenes.
Amazing scenes. We were informed by one of our listeners, Rob Halo Man Lamont, that if we manage to do this, it will be the first time we've done all 4 episodes within October for 5 years.
Blimey.
So, wow. God fucking damn it, we're going to do this thing, people.
Let's get it done, man.
Anyway, so...
By hook or by crook, whether we're asleep, whether we're ill, we're going to get it done.
Yeah, even if I just wake up in about 6 hours' time and find that there's like 12 hours of just pure silence and snoring and Darren going, hello, is this on?
I'll put it out.
Yeah.
Put it out.
We'll just put it out. It'll go out there. So anyway, yes, we will see how everyone's week's been. Mine will be fairly limited, I can assure you of that. And then we will get on to this week's movie, which is Elton's involuntary choice. Which was, Elton?
The Changeling.
The Changeling, indeed. And we will get to that soon enough. But first, let's find out how everyone's week's been. And we will start with you, Jim. Sir, how was your week, sir?
Generally stressful, fraught, and featuring a lack of sleep.
I think
and lack of money, for that matter, as well.
Oh, great. I was going to say, that seems like a theme now. Sleep is going to be a theme this week. God, what's happened?
It's been one of those weeks where nothing has gone right.
No.
It's the final thing of the saga of this damn house. But
Right.
you have to have a gas check done and a CO2 check. We couldn't get that done because the gas fire wouldn't light.
Oh.
That's because the thermocouple was knackered. So we ordered a thermocouple. Thanks to Brexit, that took over 2 weeks to arrive. When it did arrive, the gas fire would light, but then it kept going out because the rest of it was knackered. So I just said, just take the cunt out. That's it. Fuck this monstrosity is going. It's a liability. Get rid of it. Unfortunately, the cowboys who'd put it in, there'd been a bricked up fireplace, and they just knocked a couple of bricks out to get the gas pipe in.
Oh.
And so, literally, it's kind of, as soon as we get the gas safety check done, I can get rid of this house and get out of my hair. But now I've got a gaping hole in the fireplace to fix.
Oh, God. Initially, I thought you were going to tell me that the gas fire wouldn't light because after your CO2 check, there was too much CO2 in the air for actually its combustion to happen.
Nearly that bad.
Nearly that bad.
But yeah, eventually I said, well, I plastered it up, and it was there was a big metal sort of backplate over it anyway originally, hiding the bodged job. So I put that back on, and then because it's a big wooden fireplace, sort of mantelpiece, sort of with pillar fireplace, and that was screwed to the wall. I unscrewed that and thought, I can just get a bit of backing board. I might well just get away with this.
Yeah.
Getting a bit of backing board, bit tricky because builders are wankers, and they either work. You'd think well, I wanted a piece, a square meter. You think that'd be a piece of piss? Oh no, you got to buy like fucking 4 meters of fucking wood for 40 quid. So I'm going to saw it up into less than a quarter. No. Or the other smaller bits of MDF are all like half a meter. And it's kind of, what's wrong with you wankers? It's not.
Oh,
I mean, it's like paper sizes in the A system. You know what I mean? It's not a round figure in any system of measurement known to man.
Ugh.
It's a regular number of inches. It's a regular number of millimeters. It's a pain in the ass for everybody.
Nice.
But eventually I did sort it. I finally got some plasterboard and painted that up nice and fitted it to the back of the fireplace. And you would never know what an unholy bodge job it was.
Nice.
But it did mean I had to shell out for a plug-in electric fire just for the look of the thing. And so I'm staying in this weekend for a while.
Yeah, I'm staying in forever.
Fucking hell.
Nice. So you didn't find anyone bricked up behind the fireplace or anything?
No, thankfully. I mean, that was just kind of the way the week was going. I'm just waiting for that. Going to find there's a body up the chimney or something.
Nice.
7 Santa Claus flew out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like just nothing just went to plan. You know what I mean? It's kind of like my busy week for me. I've got a lot of Halloween specials to do, which I'm behind on anyway.
Oh God!
And thanks to having chronic insomnia, probably because of stress, to be honest, playing up as well, it means this has been like a zombified week. And it's kind of I've got one tiny job to do tomorrow, and that's the capper and all the Halloween shows, and then I might fucking take all of November off.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
I'm just going to go see the doctor saying I've got chest pains, I can't sleep, give me some fucking Valium, I'm having a kip for a month.
Yeah. Or sort of like the budget end of the scale. Just give me a hammer and 5 minutes and a bottle of scotch and just take care of that. Just do it that way. Nice. Oh, God. Well, that's...
Yeah, so...
So that's that then.
So that is that though.
That is that. And then you're gonna sell the house on it, right?
No, it's getting rented out. Actually, a tenant has moved in today, so it is no longer my problem. I've washed my hands of the place.
Nice.
I'm done spending half my life fixing things in that damn house.
Okie
To be honest, it does look good, but every step of the way, everything has been late, delayed, obstacles, 3 times more complicated than it should have been due to many generations of people bodging in there. It's left to another bodge of me to come and fix it. But there you go.
You've bodged the bodge to fix the bodge. It's like
pretty much. It's come up pretty good. But I have enough of this now. Of course, now I've come back. My house is a fucking tip.
Yeah,
I'm going to start decorating here now.
Oh no, no! Don't do that. No, back away.
Just buy more shelves, hide it all behind books.
I was going to say that's the plan. Just 17 rolls of wallpaper and a whole shitload of books. Just be done with it. Oh, right, okay. Well, I won't say is that it because I think that's it, isn't it?
That is indeed, as they say, it.
Okie dokie. Well, then we'll move on to you, Mr. Elton. How's your week been, sir?
Oh, it's been very, very stressful, but that's more work than anything else. And I was going to talk about work, and I was going to add like an audio perforated line for you to do some editing, just in case I change my mind to rip it out. But I think with the way that everyone's sleep has gone, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to leave that, so don't worry. You don't have to go back and edit my thing.
Okay.
I hope not, anyway.
I like the idea of an audio perforation. I don't know. How are you
I might
do that?
use it in future, definitely. Yeah. So
nice.
Cut it here, and if you don't hear anything after this, fine. That's it. You've missed it.
Nice. Like it.
But anyway, apart from that, I know I fingers crossed, I fixed my extension roof, we had a bit of a leak when it pissed down with rain a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I jumped up on the roof, fixed it. I looked at everything. Everything seems all right. When you look at it from afar, it's like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. It should be all right. Mm-hmm. And then I jump up, and you start poking around and like looking closer at things. You're like, oh, and it's the actual roof tiles are fine. The ones that go over the main bit in the middle, like the caps, they're fine. But the mortar in between has kind of split and either stuck to one tile and then moved away. So there was a tiny little gap. So I've gone round filling everything out, making it look nice, spent a whole day on the roof, and yeah, it hasn't rained since. So I don't know if I'm affecting the weather or not. I kind of want it to piss down at least once to prove my point on the roof, so I know where to go.
Right.
But I don't. Then I want it to be dry for another week so I can fix it. But just everyone, just keep your fingers crossed that this is working fine. So that's all I ask.
Right.
In other news, I sat down the other day. I think it was Tuesday, the day that we were supposed to be recording this.
Right.
And I thought, well, I've got Tuesday off. This is a novelty, isn't it? This feels weird. And man, it's going to feel like Wednesday tomorrow. I know that. But I thought, I haven't watched anything on Netflix for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And I did I didn't do the randomizer, which they have.
That's nonsense, that is.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
It's a nice idea in theory, isn't it? But
what it really is just look at all of the Netflix original shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get something, wow, never heard of this before, must tell everyone about this. You're never going to get anything like that.
No.
So I just went through and fancied some true crime and thought I'd kick back with a nice tale of true crime. So I chose American Murder, The Family Next Door. Has anyone seen this or heard of it at all?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
I'm not too sure whether to give a heads up on this or not, because I went into it totally blind and was nearly in tears at the end of it.
Oh, my God.
Really?
Because of the subject matter.
Oh, God.
That was involved.
Okay.
So, I don't... Do I give the synopsis?
Well, you might as well, because that'll be the thing that everyone sees when they launch Netflix, so...
Yeah, it's kind of there, isn't it? And
it's right there.
They do give, the small trailers, don't they? So,
yeah.
Okay, so in 2018, 34-year-old Shannon Watts and her two young daughters disappear in Colorado. With heartbreaking details emerging, the family story made headlines around the world. Mm-hmm. It doesn't give too much away.
No.
But fucking hell, it's a kick in the ghoulies.
Right. So that sounds like a perfect afternoon's watch.
But what I drew from this is that people are batshit crazy. Because I watched it, I was heartbroken by things, and it was gut-wrenching, but then curiosity got the better of me. And so I started listening to a couple of podcast episodes about it. Just to see if I could hear anything different. Mm-hmm. And, they're a load of whack jobs anyway. But then one of them turned me on to, it has some sort of spooky elements to it. I was like, you son of a bitch. That's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down, but here we go.
Oh, Elton. Oh, no.
And then there's a lot of policeman body camera action in this, in the documentary itself, and stuff that hasn't been or has been cut out of the final show.
Right.
And watching that and people going, this shadow, is this a ghost of blah, 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 blah? And is this a ghost of blah, 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 blah? And why did this light go on? And did you hear this noise? And, oh, fucking hell. I don't know whether to make it, is this true or what? So, I found myself down the rabbit hole with this one.
Oh, dear.
I'm very sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't learned. I'm really sorry. I'm here to turn around and say I'm sorry. I have sinned.
No,
I ask for all your forgiveness.
No, don't apologise. I mean, you went to see it. You had a look. I mean, you only got yourself to blame. Just don't make us watch it. So are you glad you watched this series then? Is it actually any good?
Well, it's not a series, it's an episode. It's a big hour-and-a-half episode on Netflix.
Oh,
I think it was
of
on
a
Discovery.
bigger thing. So American Murder is the series, but it's an episode of it.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. I'm just asking. Is it?
No, I think that's like the title and subtitle.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Oh.
I don't know. I didn't really look into it.
No, it's cool. I mean, I don't know. I'm literally just talking off the top of my hat because you mentioned it. But okay, well, anyway, yes. So go on.
People who like this thing may have already heard about this case, so they can go into it kind of blind, knowing what's going to happen. I would recommend people do a little bit of searching and just not soul searching, but just a bit of reference on this, just to ease you in. Because, fuck, I want to tell you everything about this, but it's not fair. I couldn't do that.
Okay.
Not that you guys wouldn't want to watch it, but someone else listening might be intrigued in watching it and then want to go in blind as well. If you're going to go in blind, just take some tissues with you and maybe a cuddly toy that you can squeeze.
And then have some Tom and Jerry or Looney Tunes on hand for afterwards, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, right. That's... Okay, fair enough. That sounds like nothing I want to go anywhere near right now. But
yeah, so I blame you three for having the Tuesday off. That's that's the root cause of it.
Oh, I didn't realise. I didn't realise that was our fault. No, fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I so badly want to give it away, but I can't. It's not fair.
Fair enough.
It's just one of them moments when you think, oh no, this is actually real life. Oh, this is real. And then you think, oh, it just got my brain working all the way through. And I'm glad I didn't spoil myself, but then kind of wish I had spoiled myself. I don't know. I'm rambling now about it. I apologise, but
I don't know anything about it. I can't comment. I'm and the more you talk about it, the more I'm thinking I'm glad I can't comment on this. But okay, or maybe curiosity will just get hold of me and I'll just start watching it, and then I'll be like, "Curse you, McManus!"
Yeah, probably yes.
Okie dokie. Well, then, anything else, sir?
No, that's it. That is it.
Okay. Well, then, fair enough. In which case, we move from that depressing sounding thing to another depressing sounding thing. Darren, how's your week?
Let's see. How am I? Well, I think considering what you're going to tell us, Lee, about your condition, as in how you're feeling at the minute and how I'm feeling, we are the podcasting equivalent of the oil tanker from the end of Mad Max 2. Right? That's it, right? We got Max driving us, he's like pushed out all the windows and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And it's just literally all the tyres are shot out on it.
Mm.
The hordes are closing in on us.
Yep.
We're just having to be very creative with the steering. So yeah. This week I've been hit first of all with toothache, unimaginable toothache.
Right.
which I'm because I'm actually on drugs for my knee at the minute. I'm a bit scared to take painkillers, so I've got to try and find an alternative way. I do have oil of cloves somewhere that I'm going to be putting on my tooth, but to deal with the pain, I find that if I hit the affected area with some really cold water, what it does is it's like it hits the adrenaline button and flushes the pain out for a while.
Yeah.
And then I can't feel it. And then it will come back at a random time.
And you also solve your carpal tunnel syndrome by shutting your hand in a fucking car door.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, there was at one point I had a toothache that was so bad I took a knife to my face, right? That's how fucking insane I felt. I took a kitchen knife. Somebody had to stop me from going for it. But
I'm gonna ask a quick question, and I know I'm the most dentiphobic human being on earth, so I'm gonna try and help you here. But is the pain in the tooth or is it in the jaw?
It's in the tooth and it's around that area.
Because you may find that what your problem might actually be
is an abscess.
Yeah, and you might be better off just getting some antibiotics.
Oh well, I'm booking an appointment with the dentist so I can get this sorted. We've got money now because we've been paid. So it's like, yes, quick, send me to the dentist. It's only been going on a few days, but fucking hellfire! I'm surprised I got to sleep most of the time.
That's okay.
But,
that's okay. It'll be fine once you solve your pain by having put a pillow over your head while you're asleep. I mean, if this is the way extreme pain solving sorts itself out. Are you still on? Are you still on that inflatable bed? By the way,
what the deflatable bed? You mean
inflatable bed?
That one? Yeah. Because like I say, it is quite amazing. It's like one of those Arthur C. Clarke, was it those Mysterious Worlds? When he went to bed, he was 4 foot off the ground. When he woke up, he was 3.5 inches off the ground. What happens? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether or not maybe you should just sleep on your front, and then that way.
Slowly, the edge is closing.
Yes,
seal my fate. Because the way I feel at the minute, I'd be quite happy with that. I'd be like,
just go to sleep, and as it slowly deflates and wraps around you, it can just that'll be it.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Yeah.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Yes. This week's episode of the Black Dog Podcast is brought to you in memorandum of Darren Barnard, who was killed by an inflatable bed.
It's like the Indeterminate 2, isn't it?
Exactly.
So there's just the thumb.
Just the thumb going down.
Thumbs up as I go down, see further into the fucking inflatable bed.
As the music plays, do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do, and it's like...
There is one more chip. It is in here.
It is in here.
No, John. No, I must do this.
I'm sorry. And now I know now why you cry. Turn the pump on.
Yeah, so the slow puncher bed is slowly getting the better of me. It really is. But, and this leads nicely, of course, into what I'm trying to do about the deflatable bed, which is trying to get a proper bed out of this. Okay, so I went to...
Puncher repair kit?
Well... Yeah, there is that. If I could find the actual fucking puncher, because like I say, what's worse than having a puncher in your inflatable bed? It's having 2 punches, but one you can't find. And I haven't got a bath big enough to put this in to do the inner tube trick. Right? That's it.
Never mind. Buy yourself a bigger bathroom.
I think I need to go to the local canal.
Or a smaller bed.
Or a smaller bed. Yeah.
Or a smaller bed.
I think we're going to need a bigger bath.
I went to DFS, right, because we found a good bed on a deal, and it's like, well, we can do that. We'll get some finance to do it, and it's 0% finance for the entirety of its run, right? So you are just paying
okay. What's this bed made out of? It's not plasticine, is it, or magic beans?
No, it's not
Has
magic
a
beans.
steering
No,
wheel
Jim.
at one end.
It's not made out of fucking Lego or stickle bricks or anything like that.
Does it
or
have Lightning
paper
McQueen
mache.
Lightning McQueen down the side of it with
Yes, it
"Pachow,
does.
pachow, I am speed" written down the side of it?
Yes, it does. There you go.
Yeah, go on.
But we've been trying to get this bed right. Okay, it's a divan bed. It's got like it lifts up and you can.
Are
put
you
stuff
two
into
fighting over who has the top bunk?
it. Very funny. But, no, we've asked for this bed, right? We've said yes, we'd like this bed, please, and we'd like to pay for it, sort of like over a certain period of time. But it's 0% finance things like this. It's like a great deal, not a problem. No, it's not DFS that's actually the issue. It's the financing company that they go through to get this done, right? And it's the hoops they get you to jump through, right? Okay, or the moving of the goalposts, as I like to call it, because I've sent them about 5 or 6 documents, right, to prove where I live. First thing I sent them, right, it had my address on it, right? You can quite clearly see it. It's got my name, right?
Right.
Mr. D. Barnard, right?
Right.
They sent that back saying, "Oh, we can't use this. Why not? Oh, because your full name isn't shown." What do you mean my full name isn't shown? Well, you've got to have Darren in there. Are you fucking kidding? No, we're not.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I'll send you something that's got my full name on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Bank statement or something.
Yeah, right. So I had a council tax bill. I sent them that because it's got my full name on it. It's got the proper address, right? It's got a date on it as well to show that it's, this year. And on the actual site where I sent this through, it said, "Oh, yeah, you can send one of these as long as it's less than 12 months old." It's like, great, this is 3 months. Sent it to them. They sent back a message saying, "No, we can't use this." And apparently, it needs to be 3 months old. That's it, right? Can't be any more than 3 months old. And it's like, well, why don't you fucking say so on your fucking website then?
Yeah.
So now, what I've had to do is, I had to walk about, about 1.5 miles this afternoon, try and get them back quickly in my lunch break. I had to go all the way to Santander to actually get a bank statement from them, right? I got 2. What is it? I got one printed, which doesn't look too brilliant, but I've got one of them. Well, they're sending an actual bank statement to my address, right? So I can use that if necessary.
Right.
So it's going to be amazing to see what they come up with next.
Well,
right? Were you standing with a fish on your fucking head when you asked for this? Oh, you weren't. All right. Well, in that case, you can't have the bed.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are you entirely sure this business is legitimate? Because you're getting you to send all sorts of manners of stuff about you, and I suspect that next time we do a recording, because we're not here next week, but when we do recording, you're going to be telling me that DFS have basically nicked your entire life, and that's how they keep 0% finance, because Darren Barnard is selling beds out of the back of a shed somewhere.
No, you'll be going, "So, Dal, how was your week?" And I'll be like, "Well, comrade."
Yes.
What?
I have 150,000 Ugandan dollar. Yeah, go on.
You don't sell out, Darren. No, I am up the apples and pears.
Yes.
I do cockneys.
Yes, I do not like these scooters. No, I don't. No.
I will not play this record. It is scratched.
all those short ditch wankers, the hipsters, they get on my nerves. So they do. The wick, they get on it. God blimey. Served me chips on a shovel, so they did. You
could meet my Russian counterpart.
Yeah, Daronov Bernardo.
Bernarski. Yeah.
Bernarski. Well, we'll look forward to that.
So I've now sent them the bank statement or the one I printed off. So hopefully we're gonna actually get a bed sent to us. at some point, so we can actually sleep properly.
Right.
You know.
So you don't want to hear that like half of DFS stuff is all sitting in a big container lorry in Folkestone.
No.
No. Okay. I won't tell you that then. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you'll probably find the bed you're getting is inflatable.
Oh, motherfucker.
You have checked that, right?
Yeah. No, it's made of solid material. Trust me.
Plastic
It really
solid?
is. Cardboard can be solid, Darren.
Yeah. If I make papier-mâché out of it can definitely be solid.
You know, if you blow up a balloon, like, you know, enough, it can almost seem like a solid mass. It really can.
Exactly. See?
But there you are.
It's all good.
Indeed. So, anyway, the only other thing that I did undo this week was I completed season 2 of The Orville.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I am so upset that I've got no Orville episodes left to watch.
Oh.
I am just... I was devastated after that. It's like it's like a drug. You want to just put it to one side. You don't. We want to take it slow, but I couldn't help myself.
Mm-hmm.
Kept dipping in and taking episodes and watching them, and it's I just can't wait for it to come back. I want season 3 now.
Well, they're still making it, so you'll have to wait for a bit. Yeah,
exactly, bastards.
Never mind.
I suppose I'll have to rewatch the entire series again. It's just one of those sort of shows, you know, where you, where you actually, it's like with Firefly, with that, it's where you, by the end of it, it's like you can see the family dynamic and everything, and it's all cozy, and there's that, you know, the wonderful little final scene of that show, which I won't go into.
No,
but it's a bit like that with the Orville. For me, it really is just really good writing. Really enjoyed it. Can we have it back, please? I'm missing my fix already.
Well, I might be able to help you with that with my week.
Go on then.
Because I'm assuming you're done, by the way.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. Well, the first thing I did this week, I'm going to skip around the main thing. I'll just glance slightly over that. But one of the main things I did this week was I binge-watched in under 2 days. This is before work shit hit the fan, I hasten to add. I binge-watched 2 seasons back-to-back of What We Do in the Shadows. The TV show, which is now all on Disney+.
Yes, it is.
And I've got to say, I fucking loved it. I liked it when it first came out the first time, but watching it week to week, you kind of... It's that old thing of you watch it and like some of the subtle jokes that run all the way through the whole thing are kind of lost a little bit. But when you watch like 4 episodes on the bounce, you're like, it just links together so nicely. There's so much going on. There's actually a serious story going through it, as well as all the crazy shit with, like, I don't know, Matt Berry going, what the fuck is happening here? Look at my topiary of my wife's vagina, and all sort of thing.
Can I just say, I loved the thing about the cursed hat.
You stupid bloody bastard! You're wearing that stupid bloody bastard, stupid cursed fucking hat.
But it's the punchline for that. It's the final bit of that episode. What happens there? I burst out laughing watching it.
What? Maybe the hat is fucking cursed.
It's just what happens to the club that they walk out of.
Oh, you haven't seen the second season episode with the hat?
No, does he get the hat back?
Oh, the hat comes back. Yes. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Yeah, you go. Okay, there you go. That'll solve your Orville worries.
Okay,
go
fine.
And watch it. Go and binge it.
Yeah.
Go and binge it, because the second season is actually infinitely better than the first.
Really?
And it pays off so much better because you've got all this stuff from the first season. The first season kind of stumbles a bit, I think, but the second season, once you start getting things coming back, like the hat, Colin Robinson getting a promotion in his building and then realising that now he's a boss, he can basically drain people, he becomes supercharged. And and then there's a whole thing about DNA testing which goes on, and Jackie Daytona. There's one joke which I won't isn't really a spoiler, but there's one where Matt Berry turns into a bat to get someone, and they hit him while he's a bat with a broom, and then send him off to animal control. And yeah, he ends up in a vet's. He ends up in a vet's, trapped in a cage. and there's him trying to talk to all these cats because he's going to create a cat uprising to escape out of this vet's.
Right.
And there's just this bit where he just goes, "No, I must rescue my furry feline friends." And then you just sort of like see outside the vet's a little bit later, and you just hear, "Bastards have got sharp claws," and he comes out and he's got all these fucking cats stuck to him. He comes barreling out, like fucking bleeding everywhere. They're fucking cats, all these feral cats. He's brilliant. The second season is just fucking great. Seriously, yeah. Watch the first season, get through some of the lumpy bits, and then get to the second season. It's great, and third season's literally airing in the States right now, so I'm just dying for it to come out.
Can I just ask? Did the Vampire Council make another appearance in season 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I love the Vampire Council for the cameos and everything that they're having. So
yeah, I won't spoil it, but they do reappear.
No, they do. Good.
Guillermo, where is my laundry? Anyway, it doesn't matter. You won't get it. But I'll stop right there. So anyway, that was one highlight. The other one, which for those of you who didn't see it come out over the weekend, Darren and I with Andy Palastides did done see Dune, and yes, we did a podcast special for it. So
Indeed.
And the more I dwell on it, the more I like it. And now that we found out the second one's on its way, yes, now I'm happy. Other than that, I've been in work hell basically. To cut a long story very short, I had a job to do a video where people sent me scribbles which would frankly shame a 3-year-old with a crayon, but apparently they're electrical engineers, so they know what they're doing. And which is even more scary when you think about it. And I've been dealing with things like people sort of saying, "Oh, look, can you put some dials in here and have dials moving around and animating and all this sort of thing?" And you spend like 2 days carefully animating dials appearing and vanishing, and representing fine scientific data in a nice graphical style, and then they kind of say at 5 o'clock in the evening with only 2 days to go, "Yeah, we don't like the dials, we don't like the colour, we don't like the logos, we don't like the speed of the animation, and we don't like this, that, and the other." And it's like, you fuckers, we've got literally like less than 72 hours to have this whole fucking thing done.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on it. Not right now. I've got tomorrow to work on it and finish it. But it's like, it's one of those things where you know that if someone had just sat down and listened to you, the job would have been done in like a week instead of 3 weeks. And as of right now, as of the time of recording, my timesheet currently says that I've done 53 hours just this week on this project.
Wow.
So that's good.
Can I just ask, has anybody, did any of them say to you, like, you see those dials you've animated, can you make them less dial-y?
Well, actually, yeah, they wanted them changed into bar graphs that animated.
Motherfuckers.
I mean, that's just one example. There are a myriad of examples, including icons that don't look like houses but do look like houses. We want them to look like houses. Then it's like, oh, they look too much alike, so let's not have them like houses anymore. Ones which say, or feedback which says, "Oh, when the sun is in the sky, we want the entire screen to turn blue." And you go, "Yeah, but all the font is blue and all the logos are blue and all everything." And they're like, "Yeah, but we want the sun to come up. We want the sky to go blue." It's like it's a fucking graphic on a grey background with light blue text. What the fuck do you expect me to do? So it's that kind of stupid shit. And like I say, when you're dealing with someone sort of literally telling you to take something that's blue and then put a blue background behind it, you have to kind of draw a line and go, and that's kind of where I am. But luckily, I have a week off next week, so I am very pleased about that.
Yeah, I bet you would. I would still rather have this toothache than do what you're having to do. I'm sorry, but I would. That's it. Me
too, frankly. Because, like I say, it was the reason why we didn't record on Tuesday, because I hadn't even got to see the film, and I didn't get to see the film, and I still went to bed at fucking 2:00 in the morning.
Jesus.
What kind of justice is that? When I go to bed at 2:00 in the morning, I want to be for the podcast and going to bed going, right, I've edited the fucking thing. I'm just going to upload it now. Hooray! And see at least a couple of likes for that endorphin hit. This, I'm getting nothing. I'm looking on Skype or business Skype and seeing that these people have logged off 4 hours ago, 8 hours ago, and like, anyway, yeah. It's all good. It's all fine. Oh, and one last thing. In news of things you never thought would happen or you would put together in a sentence, today, while I was working, for those of you who don't know, due to an internet issue that we had ages ago, I moved all of my work kit from my house, where I'm working from home, to my parents' house. And it's just worked out that it stayed there, and I'm using it as an excuse to get walking miles back in and get back to being healthy. So it's kind of worked out okay. But the downside being is that I hear all manner of entertainment that coming through the wall from mum and dad's Alexa and TV. All right. Anyway, so that's the thing. So I'm sitting there today, and then all of a sudden, now I get to that point in the lunchtime day where I'm sitting there thinking I really should just have something to eat, or take a break for 5 minutes because it is now like half midday, something like that. And then I hear the dulcet tones of Loose Women coming through the wall.
Oh no!
And do you know, if I was to say to you, what would you expect there to be on Loose Women that would get me kind of like going, motherfucker? What do you think it would be?
I don't know. There's a lot. You see, that's a broad spectrum talking about Loose Women.
It's also a very dangerous question.
It is a very dangerous question, but I'm doing it because it's actually, the answer isn't dangerous. It's just surprising. The answer may surprise you. Click here. No, no. Basically, they're interviewing a guy. I couldn't see who it was because I wasn't in the room, but I could hear it through the wall. And then it turned out that this guy was one of the stars of the new Marvel movie, Eternals.
Oh, right, okay.
So I'm like, oh, right, okay. So I'm kind of half listening now because it's just like, it's an interview. I usually listen to talk radio or classic music. And then all of a sudden, one of the women who's like one of the hosts literally turns around and says in the interview, which apparently got stony short shrift from the person in the show, they're being interviewed, about someone actually appearing at the end as a surprise at the end of the film.
Oh.
So literally, if you were to put in the sentence,
I
had the Eternals, a Marvel Eternals movie, spoiled for me by Loose Women. That is not a sentence I would have had in my head, but apparently that is the case. I had
God's sake,
big fucking almighty goddamn plot drop, like right. I think it was the lady from Birds of a Feather. Just goes, "Oh yeah, and I heard that you saw. Don't forget I saw someone at the end." And then just like she just reeled off this thing. And I'm like, just stop fucking talking. Fuck's sake, shut up. And then I came out and I went, what was that? What the? And Mum and Dad's just like, yeah, apparently so and so and so and so and so and so and something. And I'm like, just spoiled the end of the fucking film. So yeah, there you go. I wasn't
just
happy.
Beautiful, man.
Beautiful, man.
Just,
yeah. Would you Adam and Eve it, so to speak, as your Russian compatriot would say? Would you Adam and Eve it? I have had a Marvel movie spoiled by the loose women, so I did.
Yeah, considering the Metro spoiled the Red Wedding, right, by having a 2-page spread of everybody that copped it, and then laughed at people who complained, going, "No, it's only a TV show, isn't it?"
Yeah,
I'm not, because I put Loose Women in the same sort of barrel as the Metro.
Okay.
And these
That barrel you shoot fish in.
Yeah.
or the barrel that you roll off of Niagara Falls.
Yeah. Oh, I don't understand this subject that I'm watching, but so it's okay to spoil it. It really is. Oh,
yeah, pretty much.
But spoil EastEnders, and God fucking
Damn,
help you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So so that pleased me. That brightened my day.
Simpletons.
Yeah, that brightened my day. So anyway, that's it really. I've got nothing else to say this week. Like I say, I'm looking forward to next week, because next week we're not recording because I am on holiday, and I will remain that way for an entire week.
Good on you.
Good on me. My phone is disappearing. I will be out incommunicado until such time as I decide to come home. There you go. Anyway, there you go. Right, so we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, was there any feedback for last week's episode? And to be quite honest, I'm so absolutely wrecked and knackered, I've completely forgot to even check. So, just talk amongst yourselves while I go scrolling down the list. La 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 la.
3 hours later.
3 hours later. Oh, yes. Yes, yeah. The little piece of feedback. We did have a second take on the opening of episode 74, which was the Empty Man. And David Renane, Happy Dave, wanted to know about the lost dad joke that I said, and then I refused to say again because we were taking the beginning. So, those of you who are curious, I will just tell you, I'm not telling you. It's done. It's like Black Dog 5 in version 1, in the first Black Dog. We never talk about Black Dog 5. It vanished.
No, we don't.
No, there you go.
5 or 4?
Who can say? I can't remember, if I'm honest, but I thought it was Black Dog 5. Nobody talked. Oh no, Black Dog 4.
Vanished, we don't know.
Vanished, we don't know. Yeah, we just renamed 5. We got a different 5. Number 4 disappeared. Anyway, and the other thing that we got, the other piece of feedback we got, was that after her feedback, from last week, Odile wanted to inform us that she wasn't driving when she was listening to the podcast last week, so she didn't drive into the Central Reservation and get very cross with us. And lastly, Thomas McCamberley, first time feedbacker. Which is an old deep cut. First time feedbacker Tom McCamberley said, if anybody else is up for some Tulpa creepypasta, I have a short link for you, which he put up on the Facebook group. And if for those of you who just want to remember, the Tulpa was the thing about if you will, people with a strong enough will can will life into existence. And the Tulpa story, which is on YouTube, and I have watched it, and it is Creep-ageddon, is called "What Killed Olivia Mabel." There you go, Elton. That's a YouTube to dive down.
Okay.
Go have a little watch of that and come back to us.
Right.
There you go. So, well, I wouldn't do it now because it is quite long. But, do check it out. What Killed Olivia Mabel? And I'll give you a clue. It might be a tulpa. But anyway, right. And then there was not a lot of feedback for the Dune special, mainly because everyone was going, "Oh, great! We're watching this tomorrow. We're watching this tomorrow. This is gonna be good. We're gonna watch this." So there you go. But if anybody would like to leave any feedback for that episode or any of the other episodes, go on over to the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/The Black Dog Podcast, or you can go onto the Facebook onto the main web page, which is blackdog.podcast.com, and then click on the contact us page, or just go on Twitter and hit us up there. And either way, we will get a message and we will read it out next time. I say next time because I'm still thinking next week, but we're not here next week. Right. Oh, it's all very confusing. I'm very tired. Right, okay, so I'm going to go off and get another cup of tea now. And then we shall be back to talk about The Changeling. Right, Darren, go punch yourself in the face or something to go and desensitize yourself. Right, roll the jingle. Oh, there are flames and ladies dancing in the flames.
Burn yourself.
Watch out how spooky they look. Oh, look. There's cards. Oh, fucking hell. I keep forgetting about that bloody record scratch. Hello, everyone. Right, so let's move on to The Changeling. The Changeling, he says in a really weird, departing the format. Right.
Changeling.
The Changeling is a 1980s Canadian supernatural psychological horror film. Directed by Peter Medak and starring George C. Scott, Trish Van Devere, and Melvin Douglas. The plot follows the esteemed New York City composer who relocates to Seattle, where he moves into a mansion he comes to believe is haunted. Well, he doesn't come to believe. It's pretty bloody obvious.
I was going to say.
It's not
That's subtle as a smack in the face.
Yeah. Never mind. We'll get to that in a sec. The screenplay is based upon events that writer Russell Hunter claimed he experienced while living in Henry Treat Rogers Mansion in Cheeseman Park neighborhood of Denver, Colorado in the late 1960s. Hunter also served as co-writer for the film. The movie had a budget of $6.6 million. How much did it make at the box office, Darren?
I think it made 3 million bouncy balls.
Nice. And what about you, Jim? What do you think it made?
10 million scary wheelchairs.
Nice. Elton?
Nice.
Took me a second, but I was really, Okay, well, actually, yes, you're right. It did earn $12 million at the box office. So, there you go. As ever, we won't go through the Wikipedia. We will just jump into a round table. After 72 episodes, I think everyone should really realise what we're doing right now. But anyway, 75 episodes even. So we'll do a round table. Quick one-off. What do we just generally think about it, and when did we last see it, if we saw it at all? And then we'll move on to sort of talking about it in a bit more depth. So, Elton, I know you haven't seen it. And I did say that, normally we have the person who picks it goes last, but considering you picked this out of a hat from a complete ramshackle selection
certainly did, yes.
from all three of us, what did you think of The Changeling?
What did I think? I didn't mind it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It has that old fuddy-duddy movie type feel to it.
Yeah.
It has that Betamax smell, that whiff of Betamax and rewinding of VHS tapes.
Mm.
But I didn't mind it. It's not amazing.
Mm.
it is quite long and a bit slow in places. But the chills are very good.
Okay.
And there are a number of chills, and there are some things throughout the movie which are done very, very well. There are some camera shots that I really like as well. But I didn't mind it. Yeah, there we go.
Okie dokie, cool. And we'll move on to which one out of you've seen it before, haven't you, Jim?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. We'll go to Darren first then. So, because I don't think you've seen it, have you?
Nope.
Okay, so Darren, what did you think of it?
Ooh, it was okay. I thought it was a bit long, but yeah, it was all right. As Elton said, there are some chills in it, which it did very well. Am I allowed to mention the audio? Right,
you can mention the audio, just don't mention any spoilers. We'll do spoilers after our round table, but yeah, go on.
Like this.
Go on.
Apparently, if you speak like this, people outside in your garden can hear you.
Yeah.
Did you say that, Mr. Tallet? Mr. Tallet, are you there? And then he jumps on a bus from 3 streets away, gets to the house and comes in, and he goes, "What the fuck do you want? Where'd you go?" And it's like, "Oh,
yeah,
Mr. Tallet, Mr. Tallet,
yeah,
Tallet, Mr. Tallet." Yeah, what do you want? Where did you crop up from? I was over in Dartford and I heard you. Mr. Tully's got fucking super hearing. But there you go.
Okay.
It was like that on a good few bits. So the audio fucking annoyed me.
Okay.
I think you need your speakers setting up differently because you keep having this problem with films.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's just generally the way they do it. It's you get this on things like watching YouTube, right? Audio will be no, you do. It's when it's a trick with the adverts and stuff like this. The adverts are always louder than the thing you're watching.
Yeah, that's different. That's a different level of mixing. But YouTube is fairly level. I mean, apart from the Deliveroo ad, which just goes boom.
That's what it's like
and
with
the
all
Grand
those.
Theft Auto ad as well.
Oh yeah, the Grand Theft Auto ad.
It's the leveling is. It's like the adverts are more important, and especially when you get explosions and shit like that happening on things like Netflix and Amazon, they're always a lot louder than. It's like that post. It's the Jason Momoa meme again, isn't it? With him creeping up on Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is me watching a Netflix thing. We're having a deep conversation, and Jason Momoa is the explosion that's about to happen, or somebody opening a can of Coke or something. That's that, you know.
Yes, but that aside, audio aside, what did you actually think of the film?
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It was, it was a pretty straightforward story. It made sense. It was just a little bit. You could have edited that a bit more and probably had it half an hour quicker.
So you're saying it was a barnard too long?
It was a barnard too long,
yeah. For those of you who don't know from the version 1, barnard is a 30-minute unit. Unit of measurement of 30. Anyway, cool. Okay, Jim, what about yourself?
I enjoyed it. I mean, mainly I think I enjoyed George C. Scott's performance and the camera work. I feel it's a bit kind of, it leans one way, so I'm a ghost story, and then it goes, well, I'm a kind of mystery thriller, and it does sort of, it wavers between the two, and it's what I call it. It's like it's kind of like a gentle ghost story. It reminds me of quite a few of these knocking around down the years of where the ghostiness is just an element in a mystery, and working out what the ghost wants. You uncover a crime, and you can point the finger at somebody. And it's not a bad thing, but it's kind of, when this film is creepy, yeah, I do always wish I wish they'd gone out full out creepy. But I do like the sort of conspiracy you uncover. I think that is really interesting as well. That sort of fun. But it's an enjoyable film, but, it is kind of... I know some people really, really rate it very highly. I think it's pretty good, but I don't think it's quite as... I say I'd like the full fat scary version.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, for me, I would go along with that. I thought it was the best spooky Halloween episode of Columbo that I'd seen in a very long time. I mean,
do you know you can always tell who the killer is in Columbo?
Because he's the one who's always drinking the scotch in the first 5 minutes.
Well, it's not. It's the most famous person in the episode, outside of Peter Falk.
Okay, yeah.
Billy Connolly's in this episode. Oh, he's the murderer then.
He's the
Patrick
murderer.
McGowan's in this episode again as a different character. Oh,
Yeah.
he's the murderer.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen's in this. Oh, he's the murderer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought the mystery was more interesting than the ghost scares. I remember last week, especially, we were sort of trying to wind Elton up about the whole attic and all that kind of stuff. And that's because in my head, the last time I saw this thing, I was 10 and it was on BBC Two. And so, as we've now discovered, watching it that long ago and thinking, this is really scary, this is one of the scariest things I think I've ever seen, suddenly turns into, this is a Sunday afternoon film which just happens to have a ghost in it.
Yeah.
So
it definitely has that vibe.
Yeah. So
It's not a vibe I mind, but
no.
It is that kind of... There's something cozy about it, as Elton said.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I have a few criticisms about it, but I won't get into that right now because I think we might come to that naturally. But anyway, I was going to say, so overall, I found it interesting. I found it, when it did stuff well, it did stuff very well, but for the most part, I think if you took out the banging pipes and whatnot, you'd be well within your... You would be forgiven thinking you were watching this on a Sunday afternoon on BBC Two or... Yeah. Something like that, and just it's coming on after this is coming on before the snooker. You know what I mean? You're sitting there watching
definitely.
it.
Or snooker has finished early, so they're putting this on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they can't have any more reruns of Rolf's Cartoon Club for obvious reasons. Right. Okay. So we'll move on then to actually talking about it properly. But as ever, if you haven't seen this film, do go and watch it first. Because we are about to go into spoiler territory. Spoilers. So, we'll just give you one last warning. Spoilers. And now we will start talking about it. So, this is supposed to be a horror movie. So let's get into the horror bits of it. Horror in inverted commas.
Yeah, well, on IMDb it does say horror mystery. I suppose, that... So it was more mystery than horror.
I was going to say, was there any point where you were actually properly scared watching this film? And this is to all of you. I mean, because, as we've already discussed, it felt a little cozy, but, it had a few creepy moments. But were there any moments which actually were beyond, I don't know, just watching an average episode of Doctor Who behind a sofa kind of thing? Or was there bits that actually really put the... pardon the phrase, the willies up you, gave you the chills? Elton?
Were there any moments? I suppose. So like the end didn't really do anything for me, and the obvious thing at the very end, which happens, is just so cliche, but kind of needs to happen as well, doesn't it? It's the film hasn't ended until we do this bit, but the most scared I got, or the most tense I got, and the most nervous I felt, and I think there were two big moments. Number one was when the bouncy ball came down the stairs.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What the hell? And then he drops it and gets rid of it in a river, I think. and then it starts coming down the stairs again. You're like, son of a bitch. That's brilliant. Just a fucking bouncy ball. It's scaring the crap out of me. But I think the whole music and the overacting of, oh my God, there's a bouncy ball coming down the stairs. Overacting. It felt really nice. But it also had it sent the shivers up my spine. Also, when you had the lady, I forget her name. Let me just look up. She was named as Leah Harmon, Helen Burns, and she was like doing the seance.
Oh yes,
and the scribbling.
Oh yeah,
automatic writing. That is.
Yeah, automatic writing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. It's just her monotone. The fact that she's gone around the house as well, collected evidence and collected the fields around the house. And it's the monotone drawn, you got the husband, and it has vibes of Close Encounters as well. I can't remember exactly which bit on it, but it's where you have her scrawling away, speaking away like this. Are you in this house? Tell me if you're in this house. Very drony, and you got a husband. It was a husband, wasn't it? Pulling out the sheets, going, "Yes, no, kill, John, 2 ducks." It was such a difference from their tones, which made it creepy in itself. But the way that she's scribbling away. Yeah, I think that was the most scared I got. And it wasn't really a scare. I would give this 2 potatoes on the scale.
2 potatoes.
2 potatoes.
Ooh,
But it was chilling. And there are a couple of moments like that as well throughout. But that was the biggest one for me.
Yeah. Okie dokie. What about you, Jim? Was there a moment where you sort of thought,
I like the seance, and I like the first encounter with the chair.
Yeah,
where it's like it almost just suddenly wakes up,
and
it's pissed off.
Yeah, nice. I mean, was there any point where you weren't just kind of like, shall we say, delightfully chilled? You know, I mean, because that's what it is. It's a delightful chill, isn't it? As opposed to sort of like, fuck me, this is scary.
Not really. I think it skirts that, but there's. I think we keep saying cozy, but it is very cozy, and it doesn't keep the pressure on, and then you get some coziness, and that sort of pads the movie for me. I mean, I didn't see this film till quite about my mid-20s, but it was a film I heard people talk about, going, "Oh my God, this thing's that really shit me up," and I watched it, go, "Oh, it's good and well made," but for me, it always just felt kind of, "Oh, this is well done," but it never really got under my skin. And it is just, it's a very familiar sort of shaped story in many ways.
Yeah.
But the actual the conspiracy plot behind it actually just puts some meat on the bones, and I always enjoyed it more as the mystery than the ghost story.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because I watched this with Katie, though we did end up having to call time on it because I was absolutely fucking knackered. So we didn't get to see the whole thing through to the end in one sitting. But I was actually saying to her like how there was a lot of stuff in this that is very rote for a ghost story. You know, the idea of find the corpse, you know, follow the mystery, try and find some sort of token that, you know, is going to put the thing to rest, or right the wrong that ended up, you know, culminated in its death, you know. And so there was lots of things like that, and I was sitting there kind of, and I kind of was trying to work out whether or not a lot of this was original at the time, or whether or not, you know, even by 1980, this was kind of like a sort of done deal. We'd done the sort of like restless spirit restless spirit needs human to kind of solve its problems, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Dow, what about you? Was there a moment for you that kind of made you kind of shudder?
Well, the heckles surprisingly, right, went up on the back of my neck with the first piano key going ding.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting to feel like this from that, but I'll go with it.
Yep.
So
I think it's the deliberateness of the way it's done. It doesn't just go
really.
Ding.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just like...
Was it telegraphed? Do you think? The slow camera angle panning round.
Yeah.
This is why it was surprising that it felt the way it did. Because it's like,
It's the way it just literally hammers that key down and holds it down. That's what makes it creepy.
Yeah.
Not it just going ding. It's the way it dings. It's kind of like, I'm
ghost.
fucking here. I'm here.
Ghost. Ghost.
Funny little spaceman.
Ding.
Ding dong. Yeah.
So there was I mean, me sort of like slow opening doors in the background of somebody else doing something, when they're not concentrating, you just see the door opening slowly, even though there's nothing there. Those sort of things normally are the ones that kick off the cold, as it were. But yeah, it was that was the first. I thought, oh, maybe this isn't going to be so, generic after all. Maybe there is there's hope in this one. But yeah. So that.
Okay, that's cool.
Definite.
Yeah.
For show.
Faux show.
Yeah.
I mean, with me, I have to say that the ball coming down the stairs was a moment, definitely a moment. But the problem, and this kind of leads to a problem I was going to ask you all about. But the problem kind of is that the film never gives you a sense of, I don't know, a sense of any of these things being a problem. Does that make sense? There doesn't feel like there's any kind of urgency to any of these issues. And so whenever you see something really creepy and odd, like the ball, and I thought, oh my God, okay, right, fine. This, you start putting yourself in the situation. You've come home, you've got this ball bounced down the stairs. It was supposed to be in the cupboard, or in that dresser in a totally different room. And it's like there's the dark stairs and something coming down the stairs, which is one of those kind of primal child fear things for me. And I'm just like, okay, I'm out, peace out. But the problem is the film does this thing, and this is maybe something to discuss, I think, and it does it a number of times where as soon as it starts to put the chills on, it literally puts the handbrake on and jumps to a completely different scene like 12 hours later.
There is one moment that I found of that.
And I was just wondering whether or not the film kind of is its own worst enemy with some of those scares, because when the lady comes in and she walks around and then she looks up the stairs and she's frozen with terror and there's the fucking chair at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, here we go, because that makes me shudder as well. Empty chairs like that at weird places make me shudder, because that's like the opening to Armchair Theatre.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
It was the bit with the fingers that go over the edge of the arms.
And it's just like, ugh, yucks. And the problem is it does it, and the chair goes, and it moves, and then the scene just goes, oh. And now we're outside, and it's 12 hours later, and everyone's just having a little chat and a coffee. And it's like, no, hang on. Did they put the chair back? Did the chair go chasing them around the house? I mean, did they smash the chair? Did they have a discussion about the chair? Or did everyone just go, well, chair at the top of the stairs?
The moment I had in that sort of situation was when you had all the taps running. And he went down and he found the tap running and he stopped the tap there, and all of a sudden there's a tap running upstairs. You're like, oh shit, this is going to be a tingle. I'm actually getting shivers down my spine now talking about it. But he goes upstairs and it's all this dramatic music, and the plug's not even in the bath, but the bath is filling up. It's really weird. It's very dirty as well. He hasn't cleaned that, but then he sees the face.
He sees a boy.
Yeah, in the water, and he slowly backs out of the room, back into the camera. Beep, 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 beep. And then it just... I think the next shot is he's on like a terraced roof. It's like...
Yeah, he's out...
Let's go back and let's talk about the big face in the bath. Did you reach in and pull the plug out?
Yeah. Did you at least turn the tap off? I mean, did you not go back to check on the kid? I mean, the next scene, if I'm not mistaken, is the next scene is him making some jokes and gags with his with his first lecture. So he's walking in. He comes straight to that, and he's like, "Hello," he walks across the forecourt, he walks into the university, he walks into the lecture room, and there's all these people, and he goes, the building's not on fire, and it's not raining outside, and you're like,
you won't believe what I saw in my bath last night, but I won't go into that right now.
Yeah. Anyway, let's have a tune. Rabbit.
George C. Scott has got what when he sees the amount of people that's in there, you see him take a step back. He's got what I like to call the fucking hell look on his face.
Yeah. Exactly. But he's just like, there's a kid. I've just seen a dead kid in the bath. All my taps have come on, and there's no plugs holding any of this water in yet. Somehow the water's all up. Anyway, so now you've got a beautiful hair. You've got a wonderful stare. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm just wondering what he did of the 1980s equivalent of "that's enough internet for me." It's probably right. That's enough cheese for me tonight.
Exactly. I mean, did anyone else find that? I mean, George C. Scott's reactions to everything. I mean, he's a good actor. Let's get that right out of the bat. He's a good actor. He brings gravitas to his roles.
Yeah,
but his complete lack of reaction to pretty much every ridiculously scary, spooky situation in this house, did that not undermine the film for you a little bit? Jim?
It's more the scene changes, as you say. It's kind of, and as I mentioned, it's kind of, you get a really good chilling scene, and then it cuts and he's having a coffee and talking about something else.
Yeah.
It builds up atmosphere in these short doses, and then it goes off and does something else, and it's kind of like, it's, as I said in the round table bit, I'd love to see a version of this that was like balls out spooky.
Yeah.
But actually, come to think of it, I have.
Yeah.
Because one thing did strike me when I was watching this movie this time is Susan Hill robbed a shed load of stuff from this for Woman in Black.
Really?
Yes. There's tons of things in this that she does in the Woman in Black. I think she does it better because you don't get sort of cozy amateur detective stuff going on, and all this kind of high, university society award-winning sort of musician composer business.
Yeah,
water. I mean, not a popular phrase to use, I know, but there's a certain there's a certain cushioning of privilege, which I think why he's not freaked out about ghosts.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can. Well, this house is haunted, but I can afford to go to a very good restaurant.
Yes. Yeah, it is that kind of.
But that's the thing with a haunted house story. You and it's true for a lot of horror films, but also a lot of thrillers and sort of suspense movies. You've got to cut the characters off from the rest of the world.
Yes.
They shouldn't be able to go and just get the head together and chill out and have a latte somewhere.
Yeah,
because that drains your atmosphere.
Yeah, the instant you give them free agency and to just do what they want and go where they want and be wherever they want to be. And even in the situation of kind of like, you know what? I've seen the spooky chairs. You know what? I'm going to go and have a nice dinner. I'm going to go off and call up my girly friend who rides on horses, and she's freaking the fuck out. And then next thing you know what? I went down the library yesterday, and it's like, hang on. Are we not all going to address the chair at the top of the stairs? No.
It's there again,
It's there again.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah.
And I just took that thing out and burned it, First time it played up, I wouldn't be hanging around in the house for long.
No, that would have been full axe to the wheels. That would have been.
Okay, so at what point would each of us have left the house?
Well, I for me, I would have said, for me, the instant that he started going,
Yeah.
it's like, yep, that's it.
That's not pipes. That's something completely different.
No, that's Mr. Pipes. That's not pipes. That's just pipes. Yeah, that's totally different. What about you, Dal? When were you bailed out? Because I know you're so used to all spooky occurrences. Because 1 minute you're on a bed that's 3 foot up in the air,
Exactly.
and the next minute you're on a bed that's 3 inches above the ground. So
Yes. Bullshit or not? Yeah.
yeah. Was the Loch Ness Monster really the Jack the Ripper?
I was expecting the bullshit or not man to show up.
What?
Is it a ghost or is it just him going mad?
Henry Silver. Hello.
Bullshit
I'm
or not? You decide. Yeah, why not? Get him in there. There's nothing that can't be improved with a bit of Henry Silver asking you bullshit or not. So.
Yeah. Is Jack the Ripper really a 70-foot long sea serpent from Scotland? Is it true? I'm just doing this for the money. Yeah. Anyway, go on, Garrett. So what about you?
When would I? Well,
When would you? Well, firstly,
got the
when would
fuck
you have
out.
bailed? And secondly, George C. Scott's complete inability to react to any kind of scare whatsoever.
I think I would have got out if I'd been present at Dong, because that shit ain't sort of like right. So yeah, I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Laters.
Peace. Jim, what about you?
For me, it would definitely have been when it starts just like literally hammering on the walls. It's kind of okay. That's majorly trouble. I'm out of here.
Yeah. That's that shit's not plumbing, and even if it was, that's expensive plumbing.
I'm out of here regardless.
Yeah. It's either going to scare me or it's going to scare me when I see the bill. Either way, I'm out.
I'd rather sleep in my car because there's no plumbing in that.
What about you, Elton?
It would have been the big bangs that were happening all over the house. That was just the way that it was presented. It was just reverberating around that massive hall, and that is not plumbing. That is something fundamentally wrong with the spirits in that house. You're like, no, I'm out. Thank you very much. It's been lovely seeing you, and I'm off now.
Yeah, thanks for the tea. Thanks for the hospitality. I'm off. I mean, what was ultimately? Can I ask a question which I may have completely missed by having to watch this film in 2 parts? So I apologise. I have to say I apologise in advance because I watched up to the last 30 minutes. But what was the ghost's actual game plan with George C. Scott? Because 1 minute to me it seemed like the ghost was trying to communicate with him, and he seems to just completely understand that from the off. But he's trying to communicate with him and get him to uncover the conspiracy with the senator. And yet, all of a sudden, probably about 40 minutes from the end, the ghost just decides that it's had enough of George C. Scott and it's going to try and fucking kill him and burn the fucking house down.
Well, that's a tantrum, I see it as.
Oh, right.
Because the ghost kicks off after George C. Scott has confronted the senator. and seemingly kind of says not broke down or nothing. But Georgie sort of has left his medal there, which means now the ghost can get to the senator. And basically, like the lady gets chased by the wheelchair as well. It is kind of what's actually happening is the ghost is kind of like, first he's like, George, you fucking useless tosser, what are you doing? Then, oh, hang on. And then literally they're at ground zero of a massive psychic storm.
Right.
And it's not so much, I don't think it's personal, it's just, decades of fury just venting, and they're just literally, on the mouth of it, they're at the edge of the volcano and it's going to blow.
Right, I see. Okay.
And it's also, you can't end this sort of film without burning the house down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was going to say there's plenty of ghost stories where you can, but but I take your point. It is of a type, isn't it? Like your Amityvilles and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? It's just like the house suddenly decides now's the time to go nuts. Poltergeist is another one that comes to mind.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Let's literally just wrap this up. I mean, like literally take the house and wrap it up.
So what you're saying, Jim, is when he gave him the medallion medal type thing, that was kind of a key way for the ghost to let loose and give him direction on who to vent onto, because there is some sort of weird happening where that senator is in his senator room and also in the house as well.
Yeah, effectively, my reading is the senator is actually dead then. He's actually dead at his desk, having a massive coronary. And what you're seeing is what we would call a crisis apparition, which is the technical name for the ghost of someone who appears as they're dying.
Oh, nice.
And it's actually a very common form of ghost, actually, is there'll be somebody, they have a relative who's miles away, and out the blue they will see them like walk past the street and think, well, he should be in London. And then they get a phone call and find they've died. And that is very, very common. That's been that's the most common form of ghost you will see, is a crisis apparition. And the senator going up the stairs is a crisis apparition.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Nice. And you don't like the sound of that, by the sound of things.
No, that sounded bloody horrible.
Look out your window right now. Who can you see right now?
No, my blind is firmly closed.
It is? Oh.
If you can firmly close a blind.
Well, I was going to say, do you just put extra weights on the bottom of it or something?
Okay, so did the senator do anything wrong?
Well, this is my question. Every time I've seen this movie, I flip-flopped on, is the senator in on it? Does he know? First time I saw it, I thought, he must know. He got adopted when he was 6. And you have memories before you were 6 years old. You are conscious. You must have known. You were in an orphanage and a man came and said, you're going to be my son.
But then did he get that sort of, did it get presented to him in that way? What I'm saying is, did the guy just come and say, I'm your dad?
Well, that's it. That's on my second view. The second time as well, I thought, well, does he know? Has he been lied to as well? Because he has a medallion, and that really seems to bother him because suddenly his identity's in question, and it's going, hang on.
Yeah.
Where did this other medallion come from? There's a rabbit off here.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have known, or I'm guessing the father wouldn't have told him, oh, by the way, I had to kill the first son because he wasn't going to make it to 21. And so I went to the store, picked you up, and here you are. So don't say anything, mate. I can't see it happening like that.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of it. Darren, hello. You right there, mate?
Yeah, I am. He didn't. This is the thing. It's all about where the money goes next, isn't it? if he was, if he got the money because he was the next direct descendant from the father, if it's proved that he's not actually related, blood relation, then the money would go to, I think, didn't he say they had a sister
Yeah.
as well?
No,
Yeah.
the money would go to charity.
Oh, the money would
That's
go to
right.
charity.
Yes, yes.
Well, there we
yes,
go.
yes.
So it's in the interests of the politician to make sure that that doesn't happen by sending over John Calicos, you know, to
Gaius
kind of threaten
Baltar.
him. Exactly. Yeah, and the one of the few actors in the film that knew how to use the audio correctly.
Didn't last long. Didn't help him.
Project, John, project.
Didn't help him in driving the car, mind you.
No, he didn't.
No.
But yeah, I don't know if he has done anything wrong. I mean, there may be some dodgy stuff he's done as a politician, but yeah, it's I don't know so much. It's trying to find an answer to that. Is he guilty? I think he's only guilty of trying to protect his own back because he knows the truth.
I mean, he does make he does make some kind of beeline straight to being blackmailed. So he's obviously got some, pardon the pun, but he's got some skeletons in the closet somewhere. Whether or not it's to do with the kid or not, whether it's to do with Joseph is another matter, because he's not even really, his name isn't Joseph, is it? The senator's name isn't Joseph in the film.
No, don't think so.
Or is he just Senator Carmichael? Because that would make a difference. Because if he's being Joseph Carmichael, then that's slightly different. Being told,
Right?
do you know what I mean? If you know that your name's Mark Robinson, and then you get told no, your name is Mark Carmichael. You're on the you were sent up for adoption. Then you kind of like, well, fair enough. But if suddenly your name is Mark Robinson and someone says, no, you're actually Joseph Carmichael, that's a slightly different kettle of fish. I feel it feels like more of a, you're changing that person's personality for a reason, or their name or their identifier.
I don't know, because he's only a kid. If he's being adopted, then at what point does he turn around and say, well, actually, no, this doesn't sound right. I'd like to go back to the orphanage, if that's all right.
But then again, I will say one thing. The lady who's running the who's running the historical society,
she knows something.
Yeah, exactly. She knows something because she calls him up and says, "Oh, he's been diving into the papers, looking into the Carmichael house."
But he also, I get the impression she's been doing her best to keep people out of that house for years, because she says to George, she's got early on, she sort of, at first she comes across like, what they call in horror movie terms, like the harbinger, the person who knows and goes, don't go to Camp Blood, you'll all die.
Ralph the Exposition, I called her, because of some movie where he goes, "Oh, hello, I'm Ralph, you're doomed."
Yeah, Crazy Ralph in Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He's the model for these guys. But she's like that house don't want no one to live in it. But later on, when George is investigating the history of the house, they uncover zero about anyone else encountering anything paranormal or weird. So that means she's telling porkies. And she's doing the Scooby-Doo routine. Oh, it's haunted. Don't want to be lived in. Go away, Sonny.
But then also,
so she's covering up.
You say that, but then there's what's his name? Who's that name? The name of the guy you mentioned earlier, Dow, the gardener,
Mr. Tuttle.
Mr. Tuttle, yeah.
Mr. Tuttle.
But Mr. Tuttle turns up and he goes, "Oh, this house gets a lot of weird sounds and weird things." So he knows something's going on. Whether or not he acknowledges it as being a ghost or whatever is another matter. But he definitely has heard stuff and seen stuff.
Along with the story of the child being killed in the house, you also have the other story along with it. So John Russell, he's lost his family. in a tragic accident. There's also another family with a girl that was killed outside, and that he goes to the tombstones of that family, doesn't he? And that's where I got a little bit confused as to, was that related to the house or what?
I thought that was the sister. I thought that was the sister, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, because you had the grave next to it for, I think there was another kid or something.
Yeah, the father, wasn't it?
So that would be Senator Carmichael's sister.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
That was the one who wouldn't have got any money, even if, because she was a lady, not a chap. Yeah. And so the wealth wouldn't have gone to her.
Oh, I thought it would have gone to her, but she died. I thought the wealth would have gone to her, but she died, and because the son was only going to live, he wouldn't live till 21 before he got his inheritance. Then that's why he drowned him and got a different one.
Clearly, I've lost the plot as well. This is not helping. This is not helping me me being unhelpfully sleepy and wrong.
Yeah, that's the way
right.
I saw
No,
it.
no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Sorry, that's me. That's my fault. That is. No, but that is her. That is
okay,
her,
cool.
as far as I understand it. But now I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm not entirely sure anything I'm saying is making any sense. But yeah, the one thing I was trying to work out was how did that lead? Oh yeah, how did that lead to George C. Scott hunting down the well? That's the bit I couldn't work out.
So the way I worked it out, the Carmichaels had a big estate, and that was sold off. But it also had a well. In the tapes that he made, I think a well was mentioned.
Yes.
Well, it's in the automatic writing.
That's right.
It says, find my medal, find the well.
Yeah, find the well. And
right.
so he's gone to the estates where they had their plots, and if he had a well, and that was all worked down, and he said, right, okay, this plot, it's broken up into different plots, but it still has a well. It has now been broken up into more plots, but now it doesn't have a well, but has a house on it. And so that's why he goes to that house.
And then just says to someone, have you had anything spooky happen? Can I cut a hole in your floor?
Then does a Tom and Jerry and just cuts through the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Which does seem a bit random. It's like kind of like nowadays, that would be, if this was film made now, that would be one of those things where people go, "Nah, this is a fucking scam. You're trying to cut up my floor, bastard." No, this is weird.
Are you a lino seller?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's Thundercats lino, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
But I like the way that was done. That was quite clever, because it wasn't just, oh, I wonder if there's any wells in the town. Oh, there's one that was on that spooky house. There was a progression. It made sense as to why there would be a well, and now there isn't a well, and he can find it. So that worked for me. I was happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to that whole thing of feeling like an episode of Columbo. It was kind of lots of that kind of moments, and I still can't get past George C. Scott being so utterly calm in the face of everything supernatural. But how did you think beyond the ball and his move to the mansion, that that his wife and child being killed in that accident at the beginning had any bearing on the story?
I think it's because he'd lost a child that made him receptive. To the ghost.
Because initially I thought, oh, it's his sadness is bringing the child back and all this kind of thing.
Well,
then it kind of got completely forgotten. The whole thing just got skipped over. Did they say that?
The medium said to John that it's your sadness is what's opened the gateway for it to communicate with you.
Yes.
See, I'm clearly I'm just worse than useless for this film. I did actually watch it. I can assure you, I watched it.
No, you just got to have super hearing or the subtitles.
No. I heard. I watched Dune, and that's got plenty going on like that. So my hearing's perfectly fine for that kind of shit. Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm going to leave it there because I can't ask any more questions because I feel like I'm probably going to just reveal that I haven't seen this film at all inadvertently.
Am I right in saying George C. Scott and Trish Van? How do you pronounce the name? Dever.
Yeah.
Were they actually married in real life, or was it just that she was his on-screen partner many times?
She's the widow of actor George C. Scott. Yes, there you go.
So they
Good
were
eyes.
married in real life.
Yes, they were married.
Oh, there you go.
You have to be married to become a widow.
Yeah.
Someone.
She married George C. Scott in 1972, so before this film was even made.
Yeah.
There you
and
go.
you could tell her character had the hots for him immediately when she rocked up in her Merc.
Really? Do you think so? Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know so much.
immediately. And then the next time that you see her, she's walking in her joggers. It's like, I wonder what would get him going. I know. I'll try the joggers this time. There we go. Oh, you want to come riding with me? Oh, that's nice.
That classic question. So, are you riding a horse? No, I'm just shopping their fucking Tesco's. You fucking idiot.
Well, actually, it was the way she delivered the line. Just came in and just looked at him and just went, "Do you ride?" It was like straight away. It was like brown chicken, brown cow. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be investigating a dead child. Will you please put it away, love? What the hell? Oh, excuse me. So yeah, I mean, she's a fine enough actor as it goes in this film, but again, her she kind of had two modes. One was kind of co-investigator, and second was in hysterics. Hysterics required. Please call Trish to the stage. Hello. No, am I reading a book and reading out some exposition? No. This is the other stage. Oh right, okay. I'm going for full hysterics then. It's like Yeah. Well, what's happened? A glass has come off the table. Oh, okay. I mean,
isn't that a sign of the times and the sign of the writing, though?
Well, exactly. I mean, I don't want to condemn it. I don't really want to condemn it. I just find it kind of quaint. I think it's probably the best way of putting it. You sitting there kind of going, yeah, by now a modern day movie would have just had, firstly, had a sex scene, and secondly, someone would have been killed by that fucking ghost instantly. Not John Gallagher's sitting upside down in his car. I mean, he would have literally gone. He would have just burst into flames, and we would have been sitting in there with him, watching him turn to a crisp. I mean, did you find this? I mean, because normally when we do these horror film seasons, I always come up with the same hoary old line of, what you don't see is more scary than what you do, and yet this film seems to fly in the face of that. But does anyone else feel that still? That it was actually scarier than some of the films we've done this season. In so far as it's not showing you ghosts, it's not CGIing it up. It's just there you go. Not being dragged around a dark house.
Yeah, I think the closest we got was the images of the boy in the bath. Really. Especially when you got the creepy girl walking out and seeing the boy in the bath again. So you had that twice. But that I think I can appreciate it for not trying to show you a scary kid or a silhouette or anything like that. It had enough creeps to not go there.
Mm.
And I came away not with the story as being completed for the ghost, because that it didn't feel like it was completed.
Mm.
It was just that chapter. The senator is now dead. That chapter has moved on. But is the ghost at rest? It didn't feel like anything had been sorted out in that terms. Like the lid of the Ark of the Covenant hasn't landed back on the box. It's still ajar, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, you see that's where I kind of felt it was like, I mean, I know it came out well before, but that's why it reminded me a bit of Ring. Because, the whole idea of to cure the curse to, find the body down a well and basically bury it. Bury it properly with all rites and, pomp and circumstance to give the body a, properly inter the body. But no, the curse is a curse that's rolling on, and so therefore, ta-da, surprise. And I've kind of thought that was what was going on with Changeling, but the fact of the matter is, it's like, what more is there for the ghost to do? What more is there for the ghost to avenge? Its body's been found. The birth symbol's been found. The the changeling that replaced it, in real life, is dead. The money's gone.
The house is burned down.
Your house is burnt down. What is there left? I mean,
there's no one else to torment.
Exactly. It was a bit sort of like, I'm going to go ooh, and it's like, you're going to go ooh, doing what? Where?
Yeah. And the voice from above goes, "Come on now, don't be silly. Come in.
Come to bed, boy.
I've got to go now, do I? Yes, come on."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's it. Time's up. You've got nothing left. You're haunting a rubble tip. What the fuck do you want, boy? Maybe I can see why they fucking drowned you now, you idiot. It's like, yeah, for fuck's sake, give it up. Anyway, did anyone actually feel sorry for the kid? By the way, I mean, one of the big things that I always find with ghost stories is they either scare the shit out of you, circus or paranormal activity kind of thing, or like Lake Mungo, they kind of disturb you, and then by the end you're kind of going, well, actually, this is quite sad, really. And in this case, I mean, I kind of was trying to work out where my sympathies were supposed to lie, because George C. Scott couldn't give a shit. He's wandering around his house going, I wonder what this mystery's... He's like, Scoop, what's coming next? Let's go and look something up. He was like sort of, Felmer from fucking Scooby-Doo. He was going around.
I was in Patton, don't you know?
Yeah. But, so I was wondering whether or not, the story of the kid was, we're supposed to feel sorry for, the poor kid being sort of like abandoned and then basically drowned. I
obviously feel sorry for the kid being killed, and it being done by the father as well.
Yes.
Just for reasons so he can pass his inheritance on and keep that kind of chain running along. That's, you have to have sympathy for that. But anything else or anything apart from that, I don't know. I don't think so. It just felt unfinished. The ghost story was kind of unfinished.
Yeah.
But something about it, I kind of like it like that.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Jim? How did you feel about that?
Well, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, We burnt down the house, job done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is kind of...
Burnt down the house,
I felt,
the corpse.
The ghost had got his man. It trashed its crib. Mic drop. I'm out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what the Changeling does well is you obviously have empathy for what's happened to the kid, but because the ghost never emerges as a character, you don't sort of feel too sad, and the ghost is never humanized. It always remains this outside force, and at the end, it is just bloody destructive.
Yeah,
because it is just rage and grief for the injustice that's been done. Now I think that it pulls that off quite well. That idea of kind of it's a ghost just isn't like an invisible person loafing around.
Yeah,
it's like massive emotions that are just like a storm cloud just waiting to earth and strike down.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, I know I was asking this earlier about the whole, is this a story that's well worn, travelled? But did you? I mean, Jim, you've seen probably more ghost stories than all of us put together. I mean, does this stand out as a particularly fine example, or is this kind of just all the tropes, but just done competently enough that it's kind of got some notoriety?
I mean, the actual bones of the plot are old, and they were old at the start of the century. I mean, this is the kind of ghost story that M.R. James didn't have much time for because he felt it was already a cliche, and he felt ghosts should be sympathetic and or helpful. He said that you could have sentiment and emotion, but it had to be in its right place.
Yeah.
It had to be about the sadness, the tragedy, and not humanizing the ghosts. I think what this does well is it's kind of the nature of the mystery uncovered. I think is interesting, and that it's because normally it's just someone got murdered, there's the body, the ghost is lays to rest. But there's a bit more to it than that. You know what I mean? That's more interesting, and it's well executed. But I think it's. Even in the 70s, if you know your ghost stories and you know your supernatural cinema, I mean, I've said Susan Hill robbed from this. Yeah. But Peter Medak did some robbing of his own.
Oh yeah.
The bouncy ball.
Yeah.
Nicked from Mario Bava.
Oh right.
Yeah, from a film called Operation Pora, which means Operation Fear.
Right.
Which is about a child has died in mysterious circumstances in a village, and his haunting has come back to haunt everybody and make their lives a misery.
Right.
It's a very strange film, but that has this motif of the ghost has the bouncing ball. And, it's kind of... And it's a red ball as well.
Oh,
a lot of people have nicked the red ball. It's a bit like... in supernatural cinema, it's equivalent of the baby carriage on the steps from Battleship Potemkin.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so.
It's everywhere. Everyone's done it. Everyone's had a crack at it. Yeah.
Because in The Woman in Black as well, there's a bouncy ball as well.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that one.
So.
Sorry to interrupt, but I've just read that the Carmichael, the senator, his name is Joseph.
So he's sort of like stealing the kid's identity.
Yeah.
So it's a bit.
He's given the kid's identity, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But if you're a child who's been murdered in a bath, I suspect you wouldn't be seeing it as kind of like, oh, Dad just gave it away. It'd be like, for fuck's sake.
No, it's true.
Yeah. You might be viewing it slightly differently, I suspect. Yeah. But that's that. Okie dokie. I mean, Jim, I'm going to ask this. I know I'm putting you on the spot here because I mean, obviously, this as cozy and as kind of competent as it is. I mean, this is probably the weakest of the four films we've watched. Would you agree that or not?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because it is gentle.
Yeah,
it has some good. I say it has some good chills in it, but it doesn't
follow
sort of,
through.
Yeah, it's not like Paranormal Activity. That's lots of subtle chills, but it just builds up and ramps up. So it's like straws breaking the camel back. Every just little damn thing.
Yeah.
In itself, they're nothing. it's just a door opening. But by the time you're seeing that door opening, you're going, "Oh Christ, what's happening?"
Oh shit!
You know what the door opening means.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, I mean, you've got a lot of very similar scenes to Paranormal Activity, but there's also this mystery story which it sort of flips between, and then within the mystery bit, that's all I say. It is very Sunday afternoon. It is very Columbo, and it is kind of, oh, well, I can relax now. You know what I mean? You know nothing spooky is going to happen in those scenes.
Yeah,
and that's probably the mistake in the movie.
Fair enough. Darren, you got anything additional you'd like to add, or anything you want to bring up about it?
I think it was missing. I think it actually was missing Peter Falk, or Matlock, or Petrocelli, or or Ironside, or
Jonathan Hart.
Yeah, and this is it. The Heart people.
Yeah,
Heart it was major. Yeah, that one. So it was missing them, or any other number of daytime, or even if you want to give it a bit of a British slant, Shoestring. So I remember that.
Yeah, Bergerac.
Bergerac. John Nells. Well, there you go. There's a ghost in the house. What are we going to do? I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going back over to fucking Jersey. Yeah.
Oh, gold.
So I made him sound slightly like Chris Tarrant there for a minute.
You did, but I wasn't.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah. Who wants to solve this ghost mystery? Yeah. Elton, you got anything additional you want to add to this?
Two brief things, if that's okay.
No, by all means, go for it.
Number one, microfilm. I've always wanted to have a go at one of them machines.
Okay.
Always. Never had the chance. Never ever even seen a machine that does that sort of thing. Do they have them in this country? I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
They do.
No,
yes.
they do.
Yeah.
If you go to your local library, if they've got a historical section, they will have microfiche machines you can use.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. I want to have a go on one of them. They just look amazing.
Okay.
And I said at the very beginning, there's a shot that was very good, and it's the one where he's playing back his recording of the song and the music box at the same time to the lady, and the camera slowly moves into the music box and the tape player playing at the same time, then pans to John on the sofa, and then goes towards him, twists around, catches her, and then goes over his shoulder, all in one motion. Then she walks across, sits on the sofa, it swings around, and then goes up towards the ceiling to show the chandelier. And it's all done in one motion. And it's so beautifully crafted. It's like it's showing you, and it's doing wide shots, it's doing close-ups, all at the same time. It's really, really good.
Yeah, the camera. I mean, that's the thing. It's well crafted as a movie. I mean, in terms of how it's put together, how it's shot, how it's acted. But almost like that's almost like all it's got, or that's where its focus lies. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you wouldn't argue that, I don't know, Empty Man or Brightburn or even Paranormal Activity were beautifully shot movies, but they're a bit more focused on on a story they're trying to tell, I guess, or on what they're trying to get out of it. Whereas this is the other way round. It's more about because I noticed that when he first goes into the house, and you see him standing in the hallway, and the camera just goes around him. That camera is proper wide lens, and it makes it feel like you're not on a set. You are in a big fucking great house, and you're like, oh wow, and it just kind of pans around, and it's like, wow, this is good. But then on the other hand, that competence kind of loses what Jim was talking about, which is you need to feel with ghost stories that you're trapped with the ghost. And so you lose that claustrophobia that most of those films have got, you know. So
you need the walls closing in a bit,
you
don't you?
You do. I mean, like if you compare that to, say, like The Thing, which is a really weird comparison, but it's because it's such a big, wide sort of screen. It's 2:3:5:1. It's big and wide. And the only time you ever see anything big and wide is when you're outside. But when you're inside, that big wide screen is right up close on people's faces and right up close on the shit that's going on. And it makes everything feel really claustrophobic. But then when they suddenly go outside again and there's fuck all around and the people are like tiny in the middle of the shot, it makes everything feel big.
Yeah,
empty.
Whereas
in the Changeling, everything's big and wide and beautifully shot, and you're thinking, well, okay, so George C. Scott's in a really big house, and he can go outside into his really big world and go to his really big campus. And
because the shots inside, that was all done on a set, wasn't it?
I thought it was in the proper house. I mean,
no, the house.
It was a well-built set then.
Well, what I've read is the actual house, they couldn't find a mansion big enough, so they clad an old house and made it look really big and authentic and old. And then for the inside shots, it was on sound stages, and they built the insides of the house.
Okay, cool. Because I was going to say, because the one thing Katie mentioned while we were watching it was when the glass blows out from the upper story window, the red glass, and instead of just going, fuck, something has just thrown some glass at me from inside the house, I'm getting the fuck out of here, George C. Scott goes into the house, he goes upstairs, and he goes up to this fake wall, and then he finds the fake door, finds the real door behind a fake wall. He smashes that all down, and then Katie just turned around and went, well, there goes his deposit. I think that kind of sums the movie up when you're sitting there trying to be scared about what could possibly be in the loft, and everyone's just sitting there thinking, well, he's fucked his deposit. That's it.
Oh, the mouth of babes.
You can tell that, she is her father's daughter.
Yeah,
yes.
It's just like, I was just like so proud. It's like, yeah, there goes the deposit. Right, okay. Well, you're clearly invested in this, are you? You're really worried about his well-being. But anyway.
No, apart from that, I've got nothing more to add. I think I've enjoyed talking about it a hell of a lot more than actually just sitting there, because it was a barnard too long.
Yeah, I agree.
I have enjoyed talking about this a lot more.
Yeah, me too. I think I've enjoyed discussing it and breaking it down, or just talking about it more than watching it. I think go back to my original point. I think it's just a bit too cozy, and George C. Scott is too competent. I think that's what it is. He's too straightforward, competent, and rational.
He's in control.
Yeah, exactly.
He's never getting towards panic.
No.
That's I think that's why you have the female lead, who is otherwise a competent modern woman, has to come in and do some screaming.
Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't know that anyone had to be scared of this thing.
Yeah.
Because I even mentioned it as we were watching it all. I said this is following a lot of story beats of things like The Shining as well. You know, that kind of trapped in the house, wandering around this big old house. What is in the house with you? Kind of situation. And yet, as you pointed out, he can leave the house at any time, and then immediately you've robbed it of that whole aspect of it's not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with it, sort of situation. And it doesn't drive him mad. He's not scared. He's not losing his mind. He's not questioning his sanity or any of that stuff. And it's just like, kind of lets the air out of the bed a bit.
Yeah, thanks for that, Lee. That was really sensitive of you, mate.
Yeah,
Cheers.
that's all right. That's what I'm here for. That's what it's all about. I'm your friend, Dal. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah. Are you? Oh, right. Okay. Well, right. Fine. That's how we define it, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. After 40 years, I feel like I can take the piss out of your deflating bed.
Yeah, whatever.
Well,
My deflatable bed is not to be taken the piss out of, okay? It's had enough stuff taken out of it as it is, and it's uncomfortable after a while.
Now I know
Need
why
some piss putting back in. Might find out where the leak is.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Turn it into a waterbed. Yeah, turn it into a waterbed.
Yep.
You can indulge your sort of like little bit of water sports play.
Yeah, but it could go from a waterbed to a sprinkler system. You know, I could find there's like about 7 or 8 punches in this bastard thing.
Well, I mean, the amount of cold water you're drinking to try and numb that tooth, I think you'll probably be able to fill it up quite quickly.
Oh, trust me, yes. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm really looking forward to the end of this cast. So,
yeah, because it is taking the piss. Right.
Yes,
anyway,
it is.
Okay. Right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there, unless anyone's got any last minute things they want to say.
No, I'm good.
No. Okay. Fair enough.
No, I'm all good.
Right, okay, in which case, before we head over to Pimp's Corner, and I completely forgot to give anyone the heads up, but let's find out what we're going to be doing next week. And Jim, were you prepared?
I am prepared.
Oh my! Oh, thank God! I suddenly thought I hadn't told who. I hadn't worked out who it was this week. But Jim, it's over to you. So we got 2 weeks because we're not away. We're away next week, unless you guys want to come back and do it while I'm away. But otherwise, we come back in a fortnight's time, which is on he says going through, which will be back. We'll be back on the 9th of November to watch what, Jim?
That's a good question. I've got several jostling in my mind, kind of. But I'm going to be nice.
Okay.
and a few things like, that you might be a bit too close to the 4 weeks of horror. So I'm going to go for something that's probably entirely different and a film I've not seen.
The Emoji Movie.
I think so. No. Angry Birds movie. No.
Hey!
No. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Oh.
Now that's an interesting pick. Okay.
Yeah.
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. And you haven't seen it?
Nope.
Okay,
Oh,
fair
right
enough. There you go.
That's a Coen movie, isn't it?
That's the Coen brothers' portmanteau. That's on Netflix. It's their Netflix original.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Have you seen? I take it you haven't seen this before, Elton.
Who, me? Sorry, I heard something on the outside of the door, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Don't worry, it's just a wheelchair.
Yeah.
It's up in it was in your attic, right next to the tellies.
I haven't seen this. No, I have been meaning to. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Right. Okay. And Darren?
Oh, well, I talked about it on the cast. Didn't
Yes,
I saw
I know,
it
but
one week
I've
and
just-
then yes,
Hmm.
I've definitely seen this one, and this is going to be an interesting cast next time we come back.
Yeah, I have also seen this film. I saw it when it came out first on Netflix, like as soon as it popped. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting to watch it again, knowing how it goes. I think for the first timers, it might require a second loop round because your opinion might change in it, because that's what I think is going to happen with me. That's all I'm going to say. Not saying positive or negative. I'm just saying I may be viewing this slightly differently than when I first watched it.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. We will be back on the 9th of November to discuss that. But before we go, everything's going on in Hypnagoria Land and Rogue 2 Media Land. So let's find out from Jim, what's going on with you, sir?
Well, this weekend I've got my annual tradition of the podcast series. There's one episode a year, The History of Halloween. And this year it is all about John Carpenter's Halloween. And hopefully talking about some different aspects of the film that you don't normally hear discussed, namely how it actually affected how we view Halloween and celebrate Halloween, and how much Halloween traditions are actually baked into the film itself.
Nice. Ooh,
over on Commentary Club, today I released a minisode, it's Halloween special, where we watched the Curse of Blair Witch faux documentary as a prelude to the main Commentary Club Halloween special, which will be the Blair Witch Project, which will be on Saturday.
Now there's a good found footage movie, or at least a divisive one. I love it. Nice. I'll be tuning in for that for sure. Probably not when I'm in Centre Parks in the middle of the fucking forest, but I'll keep it to one side. Cool.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think it's the first commentary we've done where at one stage we both really nearly lose it laughing, as after I tell probably one of my greatest anecdotes.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it's Blair Witch related.
Cool. Okie dokie. Cool. Well, right, okay, and what about that's over on hypnagoria.com?
Yes, indeed.
So what about Rogue 2 Media then? What's going on with you, Elton?
Okay, myself and Andy are always talking about cars going around in circles on the Grand Prix podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Over on Shonky Lab, the episode for Halloween, it's me and Amber talking about our likes and dislikes of Halloween and the Halloween season, because it is that type of season. Mm-hmm. And as a bonus episode, well, not bonus episode, more like an early November episode, squeezed into the end of October on Saturday, rivaling Jim's episode on Commentary Club. I will be releasing a Shonky Lab all about Ghostwatch.
God, you lucky people out there. Gosh.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Well, Darren, you got anything other than the burning need to piss really quickly?
I in the next 2 weeks I shall be going to see
the DFS man.
Yes, indeed. No, I'll be going to see Last Night in Soho, which is a new Edgar Wright time travel film. I suppose you can call it time travel. Yes. That. And I shall also be taking myself and Ree off to watch Back to the Future, the musical.
Oh,
as well.
Nice.
As part of our little anniversary trip into London. So I will let you know what that's like.
Lovely. Okie dokie. And just for me, I mean, obviously I'm here. I'm not doing any art or any of that stuff. That's all gone out the window. This job has robbed me of that joy. But you can hear me and Darren and Andy, on the June special, which is still up on the group and the Black Dog Podcast site and on the iTunes feed. So if you have seen Dune, or Dunk, if you want to look at the logo, if you have seen Dunk Part 1, then, do give it a listen. I promise the intro and outro tracks aren't related to Dune, but they are related to Dune, if you get my drift. Anyway, so that's it. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
Especially for all of us who are very tired trying to stay awake. Thank you, Double E. And thank you, Caffeine, our mighty god. And yes, we shall see you in a fortnight's time when we will be doing the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Until then, you stay purdy, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
there's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.